Okay, for our lesson today, we are going to be making our own quilt squares. Now, yesterday you listened to the book, um, A Cloak for the Dreamer. And in that book, we started to learn about something called tessellations. And remember, a tessellation is a pattern that's made with shapes that repeats itself over and over again. And the important thing to remember about a tessellation is that the shapes will always connect right together. They won't overlap and there won't be any gaps in between the shapes. So they'll cover the whole surface, whatever the surface is that you're using, and they'll repeat. So I have a few examples here for you of patchwork quilts. And some of you have probably heard of patchwork quilts. Maybe you have some at your house. The important thing about them is that they're a great example of a tessellation. There are all these beautiful patterns. There's the stars in this one that repeat over and over again, and they are in different colors, but the pattern is the same. That's the important part. The same thing in this quilt. Over here, you're seeing a lot of triangles over and over and over again that create this beautiful design. Same with the rectangles here, and the really long, skinny rectangles and the squares that you see in this one. So we're going to work on something like that. But before we do, we need to really think about how we could do that. And it takes a lot of measurement and being really specific to make something repeat over and over again. So here's what we're going to work with today. So what you're seeing right here, this is called a quilt square or a quilt block. In a block, you usually make a lot of these and they're all exactly the same. That's how quilters make their quilts. They'll pick one kind of block that they're going to make, and then they'll make a lot of them and hook them all together. So what we're thinking about, I have some questions for us to think about today, is what are the shapes that make up this block? Now, I'm seeing a couple different shapes. The main shapes I'm seeing is I see a square right here in the middle. Now I see a rectangle, right here, and I see another rectangle right here. And if I look at a few other parts, I'm seeing a rectangle here, 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 and here. Wow, that's a lot of rectangles. I'm also seeing quite a few triangles. Here's a triangle. Well, here's another one here, and then one here, and here, 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 and here. Wow, so I'm thinking all the shapes that I've seen so far, I've seen squares, rectangles, and triangles. So I have three main shapes that are in my quilting block or quilting square. The next thing I'm going to think about is how many of each of these shapes do you see? Okay, so I know that I saw triangles. Okay, here's one. Well, then here's another one. So two triangles so far. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 triangles. Oh my. What was our other shape? Rectangles. Oh, yeah. Let me count my rectangles too. So I have 8 triangles and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rectangles, and I have one square in the middle. Those are all the shapes that make up my quilting square. And now I'm thinking about different colors in my block or my quilting square. And I'm seeing this white here and in the middle, and then I'm seeing a gray color in some of my triangles, and then a darker gray. So I know that those colors are breaking up those shapes that I can see. Now, after I take some time to really think about what I see, I'm really thinking back again about that square I see in the middle, because I think I see more squares. I know I talked a lot about rectangles and triangles, but I think I see some more squares. So I just wonder, how many squares like this green one here would it take to cover my block? Well, I'm going to start with my one in the middle right here. Because you know what? I know that that's a square right there. All right. Now, I think that this square will cover this section right here. Look at that. Let me try another one right here. Right in between these two, on top and to the side. I have another one. Add a couple more. Okay, so now I have 4. Well, if I already have 4, wonder how many more I'm going to need. I think if I have 4 now, I think I'm going to need 5 more. You might be thinking of a different number, and that's okay because we're going to check. I'm going to take some more squares and I'm going to check because I think I can fit another one here. So that's 1. Okay, and then I think I can fit another one here. Now, okay, that's 2 more. And if my pattern will continue onto the last row here, remember a row goes across, I think I'm going to need 3 more. So I'll go with 1, 2, 3 more. Wow, so I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I needed 9 blocks. 9 squares, I'm sorry, to cover my whole quilting block. I'm thinking about the different ways that I can see 9. Can you think of some different ways that you can see 9? Now, if I look, I think I see 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then I can add another 1, 2, 3. And another 1, 2, 3. So now I think I could do a good color so we can see it. 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 plus 3. I know that that equals 9. All right, right here. We're kind of out of space here, and that's okay. 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. Wow, so if I'm thinking about the whole area of my square, of my quilt block with my squares, my whole area is 9. So if one block is a unit, then my quilting block equals 9 units. 9 units. Now that's something that we're going to need to remember for what we're going to do in our next math lesson. So now I know that this is 9 whole units. But something else I'm going to think about is my other shapes in my quilting block. So I'm going to think about how I can make my other shapes into half. So I'm just going to erase that and I'm going to go on to our next here we go, idea. So now I'm thinking about my block. So I know that I need 9 squares to cover my whole quilting block. But I have different shapes. So I need to think about what my different shapes are going to be because I'm going to design this quilting block with different colors. So I need to think about half of my units, and that's a really big idea. So we're just starting to think about it. So I know that I'm going to need to break my squares into half. So one way I can see half is to go right across the middle, just like this. So I have my yellow half and my green half. Now another way that I can see half is to go from one corner to the other corner. Now I have my blue half and my green half. And I know that these look different. These halves look different. but they are still exactly half. And that's something that's important to remember. So if we're remembering that it's exactly half, now we can move on to actually working on our quilt block, our square. So we'll go on to our square. So what we're going to do is we're going to have all these different halves, and we're going to start to fill in our quilting block. So we're filling in our block with our blue triangle, our green triangle, our green rectangle, and our yellow rectangle. And I actually already have the green square filled in for you in Seesaw, so you'll see that as we move on. But what you're going to do today is you're going to all follow this chart. And this chart right here, it's going to tell you which colors go where. So you're going to see that all the darker gray pieces are going to be yellow. So you can grab your yellow pieces. It'll look just the same in Seesaw. And you'll have to turn them just like you have had to do with some of your other activities, and just fill them right over that gray area. Now you're going to do that with all of the dark gray squares, rectangles, I'm sorry, these are rectangles, to make them yellow. And then you're going to have your your blue triangles. Let's go with the blue triangles first. And all of your blue triangles, just like in our chart, are going to be that lighter gray. So you're going to move all your blue triangles to be over that light gray. And then we'll go to our green, because we're going to have green for two different areas. So all the white parts are going to be green. So we need our green triangle to go here. And then we'll need our green rectangle to go right here. And yep, you will have to move these, but you have some good practice with that already. So by the time you're all done, your quilt block or quilt square should look like this. Now that's your activity for today. So we thought a lot about quilting blocks. We thought a lot about area and units so far in our previous lessons, and about tessellations, how things repeat. So I am so excited to see all of you create these beautiful quilting squares. And then I'm going to put them together to make a really big quilt for us. It'll be a little different than the ones that we saw in our pictures, because it will be on the computer and we can't curl up with it and use it. But we're going to make our own quilt together. So I'm going to let you go ahead and get started on your activity. And good luck making this quilt. I'm so excited to see what it looks like when we're all finished.